Those who want to work are in search of possibilities to do it, but those who don't want to, they are looking for the reasons to justify their doing nothing. Alexander Dugard concerns the former. The enterprise headed by him is one of the best in the war industry. It has already experienced and is still experiencing all the problems connected with the war complex. All this, together with the lack of any orders and the delivery of the production having not been paid for ages, led to the salaries not paid in time and all the other similar problems. So, searching a way out was urgent. Answering the question about his priorities of being a director, Alexander Dugard focuses on the things which make profit rather than any other things dealing with the production for the war industry complex or output of consumer goods and equipment for processing industry. Probably it's not completely so. Money is not a bad thing. However, a person having been working at one place for approximately 45 years can't get rid of thinking about the perspectives aimed at developing the war industry. But today, the point to be discussed is not this. It's not going to be about the equipment produced for the Navy, which has no analogies on the many parameters, and the unique equipment enabling to find out the objects on the 7 meters distance under the water covered with the sand. Today, the point is to make a special emphasis on the so-called soybean cows produced by Priboi. But let's begin from the very beginning. There was a special background for this idea to be born. The problem of food supply has always been urgent in Russia. It was extremely important in the late 80s and early 90s. As for me, I couldn't see any positive changes in its solution. First of all, because of the lack of any processing equipment. It made me think about the necessity to be one of those pioneers to start this business. To say means to do. The workers, as well as the enterprise staff, were all busy with solving the problem. One of the directions to develop was working out the equipment for the production of soybean milk and the good made on its base. This equipment is for the enterprises of small business, medical, preschool and educational institutions. Today, there are some models of such an equipment at enterprise with a total capacity from 30 to 100 liters of milk per hour. The complete set consists of a steam generator and apparatus for grinding and boiling, a press to lean out, a springy form for the cheese production. All the parts of this equipment forming a line are made from non-corrosive steel. They are easy to be served and subjected to sanitary processing using 1 or 2 operators. This equipment has been certificated. No chemicals are used while producing soybean milk. The technique of grinding in the water and boiling without air excess is used. The Taganrog enterprise Priboi is the only one to master all the peculiarities in soybean processing equipment. Canadian samples, being known all over the world, have been left far behind. Instead, the equipment made by Priboi has been in favor. The soybean equipment produced by our enterprise is in top-ranked position being compared to with those highly appreciated and recognized as the examples to follow produced in Canada, Germany and the Czech Republic. It's produced not only abroad, but there are as many as 10 similar enterprises in our country. The fact proves our production to be better. Soybean products differ mainly in the level of fat. In foreign products, it's about 6%. The level in the products of Priboi is higher, and it's from 9 to 12%. It's possible because of the smaller grinding cord and the improvement the main units of our equipment. Both the equipment itself and all the units are patented. It's not only the level of fat that matters. The efficiency is different too. For the equipment made by Priboi, it's 50 liters per hour, while the Canadian, it's only about 30 liters per hour. The latest model, developed by our enterprise, allows to get even 100 liters per hour. The results mentioned were got in the course of simultaneous testing. It's important that the water and the raw material were the same, but the results gained were different. However, being more efficient is not the only advantage of Priboi's equipment. It's much cheaper than the Canadian one. Besides, there are some more things to compare. In 1997, when one of the local businessmen decided to be busy with the soybean processing, he bought a Canadian equipment for the purposes.
У предпринимателя был аппарат, у него была сама этот аппарат называется соевая корова.
The equipment made by Priboi is called a soybean cow. It justifies its name, given milk gained from the plants. It doesn't require specific tools to be adjusted and regulated, but the foreign equipment does. Nevertheless, it was a foreign new idea to have been supported and developed by Priboi. The designers who work of this enterprise succeeded in its developing. Then, all the documents were coordinated and necessary conclusions of the experts got. As far as I know, now everybody dealing with soybean products in our community uses the equipment of Priboi. Since 1997, 6 workshops have been opened. The conclusion is that using the same metal design as Canadians do, the Priboi's equipment is more adaptable to the peculiarities of the local water. The reason for the local businessman to use that equipment was mainly that the Canadians couldn't solve many problems connected with the use of our water. For the last 15-20 years, the researchers' attention to the products gained as a result of beans processing has grown immensely. The use of soybean protein for nutrition is widely spread all over the highly developed world countries. It's been used not only for common sound nutrition, but also purposely for disease prevention.
На Западе соевыми продуктами сои, да, они давно об этом знают, уже еще 15-20 лет тому обратно.
On the West, soybean production has been known for a long time. It has approximately been used for 15-20 years. Soybean consists of vegetable protein. It's the only natural source of protein and contains all the amino acids necessary for a human being to live. So, the reason of animal protein substitution for vegetable one is evident. Soybean products are for those who are interested in making wise nutritional choices. Using soybean is the right way to sound nutrition and saving your money. First, soybean appeared in the East, far beyond BC. In China, it's called vegetable meat. In the 18th, 19th century, soybeans subdued Europe. Since 1948, due to the efforts of academician Lysenko, soybean growing has been stopped in Russia. Nowadays, it's been reviving. Soybean goods are free from artificial and sound. They are many. Soybean milk, flour, butter, meat, different kinds of cheese, cottage cheese are among them. Their list is to be continued a lot. Diet professionals consider soybean products to be the base for sound nutrition of the century. The conclusion drawn by the Russian Academy of Medicine states that all the investigations of different protein products gained as a result of soybean processing prove their high efficiency. Besides, they have a lot of specific qualities to be used for preventing and correcting different abnormal changes, dealing with metabolism and immune standards. The lab of this academy, dealing with the evaluation of nutrition proteins, proved the fact that soybean protein is an indispensable part of nutrition while suffering from diabetes, atherosclerosis, allergies of different kinds, and many other diseases.
Показания очень большие. При различных заболеваниях.
The directions for soybean use are numerous, and there are no contraindications got.
Сам я очень большой поклонник соевых продуктов, так как соевые продукты, они излечивают десятки болезней. И те люди, у которых там повышенный холестерин, употребление этих продуктов снижает холестерин, заболевания печени, желчно-кишечного тракта.
I am fond of using soybean products as they help me to be safe and sound. And it's not a surprise that nuclear power engineering ordered 50 complete sets of soybean equipment. Soybean can purify any organism from radioisotopes, so all the places where there are nuclear power stations will be supplied with our sets.
все радиоактивные нуклиды и все,
As it's been mentioned above, the samples suggested by Priboi for soybean processing are highly efficient and are for the enterprises of small business. It's very important that they make profit. 3 months of full-time job are enough to prove all the expenditures to be reasonable.
Что касается экономической выгоды, то с 1 килограмма сухих бобов сои получаем до 2,5 килограмма сыра. Если стоит 10 рублей, можете представить, какая рентабельность и какая выгода в этом производстве.
Let's consider the efficiency of the equipment suggested. 1 kilogram of raw soybean material is enough to get 2.5 kilograms of cheese, which costs 40 rubles, while the price of the raw material is 10 rubles. As a result of the processing, 10 kilograms of akara is left, which is used as an addition to meat and fish dishes. Natural meat chop can hardly be distinguished from that one made with 30% addition of akara, but the latter is more wholesome and abundant in vital nutrients. The period for the equipment to cover all the expenditures is a couple of months. Soybean is available to be bought in Stavropol and Krasnodar region. The total benefit to get is 700 rubles per each kilogram of raw soybean material processed.
Или 7,5 литров молока, плюс акары 2,5 килограмма, значит, килограмм переработанной сои.
Being valuable as the components for sound nutrition, soybean products have one more advantage. The fact that their prices are reasonable make them extremely important. They are for everyone, even for those who suffer living far below the official poverty level. It's a kind of life-saving for people not provided with state benefits.
Сейчас эти соевые установки у нас закупает организация «Накормить детей». Эта организация входит в состав Организации Объединенных Наций. Таких установок мы отправили порядка.
Our soybean equipment is bought by the organization which is called To Feed Children. It's one within the United Nations organization. 20 complete sets have already been bought, and there are some more orders for delivery. Our equipment is set at children's home and at the homes for elderly people and everywhere else where there is a need in wholesome nutrition and money. For the last years, soybean production in the countries of the European Community has increased as many as 20 times. In the USA and Great Britain, including soybean products into the nutrition of patients suffering from being chronically overexhausted is obligatory. There are also obligatory in Switzerland for children treated for tuberculosis in specialized centers. Being natural, soybean is one of the most efficient medicine used nowadays. And if you haven't heard anything before about soybean usefulness, now you are having an opportunity to acquire the equipment for soybean processing to make everyone happy and enjoy being safe and sound. We hope you to come soon to the Taganrog Enterprise Priboi to make a purchase of the century.